Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We want to give a special thanks to all the people that are actually watching right this minute on the live show. You know, all those people in the comments are like, this isn't live. We are so live. I can smell him.
Yeah, I smell bad.
You don't smell too bad today. Anyway,
today.
Winston, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about, basically how at present, and well, for a long time anyway, the government in China kind of teaches hate to children through brainwashing and propaganda. Now, it has to be said that this is not a dig at Chinese people in general. This is just an actual fact and some of the observations that we've seen and some of the interesting things that are happening. And people might be wondering why I'm wearing a cap. Well, I'm trying to appeal to the youth. Maybe I should have it like...
Honor of the Ghetto.
Yeah, never mind.
That's a Chinese rap group that you actually rapped with on your documentary.
Yes, and a quick plug. Stay Awesome China is really awesome if you want to see kind of the counterculture and the very interesting people that really stray away from the norm in China. You should see my documentary called Stay Awesome China.
And Hog would be the best representative
Absolutely.
of that.
Honor of the Ghetto.
I am haunted by that shitty rap that you had to do for that, and I literally sing it in my head all the time.
No.
以上
我很喜欢
中国人
never mind.
All right.
Yeah, if you've seen it, you'll know. It's really, really awful.
Anyway, shall we get into our first segment? By the way, guys, if you're new to the show, we do segments. It's different than a normal live show or podcast.
Yeah.
And the first segment that we always do is called What's New?
So, yeah, what's new is when we talk about what's new with regards to China in the news, things like
Sometimes us, too.
Yeah. And this time around, we're actually going to talk about a live streamer who has been outed.
This is so meta.
It's interesting, isn't it? So, let's roll the clip. Basically, what happened is, you'll see on the screen here, we have two ladies side by side. Now, they're not the same person.
No.
Before anyone
Don't be
thinks,
confused.
yeah, it's not. Basically, she was doing a live stream with this other person together. You can see the lady on the left-hand side is incredibly filtered.
Sure, of course.
Just super, super filtered.
Well, they all are.
I mean, look at how her face is changing shape and dimension as she moves around.
This is like a thing on Chinese TikTok as well. It's men do it too. Not even like handsome men. Like everyone uses face shaping filters.
Well, okay. Once again, if you actually want to see this in action, in my Stay Awesome China documentary, I went to a live streaming house. I got to see the ladies, how they work. I got to see the software and what it did to me. I sat in front of the thing. It made me look like a freaking alien.
I was going to hand you money, but I don't have any.
It seems like this is a big shill for Stay Awesome China, but it's not.
It's a great show.
It's very relevant.
Yeah.
The whole live streaming thing is this really fake sort of culture. And because you've got a lot of Jinan, they call them sort of like... homebody kind of introverted types.
Dorks.
Yeah. You got to understand, especially with the demographic situation in China, there are a lot more men than women, right?
Sure.
So you got these guys sitting at home on their computer or on their phone or whatever, and they kind of latch onto these live streaming girls.
Right, 30 million of which will never find a wife.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. And these guys, they fall in love with them basically and give them gifts, send them all the money that they can. And there have been cases where people have literally spent their entire family's fortune on these
and
girls.
Borrowing money
from the bank.
Exactly.
And it's a weird kind of a setup where you send little virtual gifts. Anyway, so this live streamer that you can see on the right-hand side, the sort of portly one, can we say that?
I wouldn't. She's normal. Yeah. Normal 50, 60-year-old woman.
Okay, so let's say middle-aged.
Yeah.
She's 58, I think.
Yeah, it's almost 60, so she's advanced.
Yeah, anyway, she's got a very young voice, okay? And she always used to hide her face using an anime character.
Yeah.
But she'd show off her cleavage.
Right.
And with this cute voice...
Okay.
With this cute voice, most of her followers actually used to, fantasize about her being this really pretty girl.
Sure.
And, all this kind of stuff.
Imagine the horror.
However, Anyway, she did this thing where she said she'd do a reveal of her face if her fans donated 100,000 RMB.
Right. So it's like 25 grand or something like that.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money, especially in China. It's a lot of money. So they were busy reaching that goal, and there was a glitch, and the face thing actually went off before, and then all of a sudden, all the people watching just disappeared, dropped off the live stream.
Yeah, they're like, "Aye."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh man,
that's the woman that cleans my street."
Yeah, that's my grandmother or something. Anyway,
do you think that was deliberate? The glitch.
I actually don't know, but the end result is that it actually caused her to become more popular.
That's why I'm skeptical.
Maybe.
Big marketing push.
Because everyone is like, wow, this old middle-aged woman actually has such a cute voice, and she tricked so many people and made so much money. So then all of a sudden her fan base grew.
I don't think anyone's mad about this. It's not like the whole Belle Delphine thing where everyone's like, it's the same kind of demographic of people watching.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone was like super pissed off.
I doubt anyone would buy her bathwater.
She might be a sweet lady. She didn't dupe people though.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that whole thing. The whole live streaming thing in China it's ridiculous. It's crazy. A massive industry.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got a very good insight into the whole thing, but it's constantly also being fought against by the government because
crackdowns all the time, and they'll crack down certain things you can do, say certain body parts you can show. They ban cleavage, then it comes back, and because it can't be regulated. There's too many people doing it. Right.
I mean, they had to stop people from eating bananas, remember?
Yeah, and then so people started eating cucumbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually did it, not to shill my own thing, I did like a test on live stream. I went on a Chinese live stream before you had to use an ID.
Yeah.
And I started with the banana, it got taken down, so I moved on to the cucumber, and I didn't get taken down.
Oh, really?
I didn't do anything with these objects, by the way. I was just testing.
Like holding...
Yeah, you know.
Oh, interesting.
Having a little snack.
That's kind of fun.
Anyway.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, sure. We wanted to give you guys an update on the whole Hong Kong situation.
Yeah, so a little bit more sort of somber, you could say.
Yeah, before we play the clip, a lot of stuff has escalated, but Winston and I have been talking amongst ourselves, and we are not going to jump into anything specifically related to Hong Kong until the news clears, because there's so many rumors and so much misinformation on both sides that if we take a stance, then we're going to look like idiots. You know?
Yeah, no, we have to make sure. The thing is, there've been all the things about like the paid thugs.
Yeah.
Which... You know, there's evidence to show that it's a real thing, you know, getting into a van with Guangdong plates driving off. And this did happen during the 2014 riots. The same thing.
Same thing.
Triads being paid to disrupt people, beat them up, and the police standing by not doing anything. A lot of police officers have resigned because they are, you know, feel ashamed by what's been going on. There's all sorts of crap going on. We'd have to do a comprehensive video, so maybe we might do another live stream dedicated specifically to it. But there's been a huge amount of sort of military force building up across the border in Shenzhen. Yeah. And in fact, the Hong Kong garrison of the PLA, the building, I know where it is. I actually have drone footage because I by mistake flew over there.
Such an ugly building.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I actually flew over there and filmed it without realizing what it was. I never showed it because it's like, hang on a second, I could probably get into some serious trouble if I showed the PLA military garrison online. But I do have the footage.
Cool.
Anyway, the thing is, you sometimes see them training there and doing their thing, but they've moved in a bunch of people there, and then they released this. So this is
concrete. This is what we want to show. It's like it's a warning. To Hong Kong from the Chinese government and the People's Liberation Army. Yeah. So we're not gonna watch the whole thing, but we're gonna look at it and talk about it a little bit.
And we're gonna play it in the background. Yeah. And in fact, if you can just roll that for us, DM, we'll give running commentary so that you at home can know. And if you can actually get us off the screen so people can read the subtitles that are here. Thank you. Basically, can you pause it there? Let's first of all take a look. You've got soldiers doing an exercise. They've jumped off from a helicopter. They are armed. They're running through like an urban combat situation. And the first thing you see is a beat-up Hong Kong taxi. Right. Now, this is a new territories taxi. Yeah. It's green. They can only drive in the new territories. And the new territories are all the areas close to the Chinese border. Correct. Further away from Hong Kong City. But it's basically showing, look, here we are invading Hong Kong to take care of the trouble, you know, which is, it's pretty blatant. Yeah. So anyway, let's continue. I think we have to say that, you know, people in China, in Hong Kong are not armed. No. There's no military force there. No. The people there are just citizens.
This kind of defeats the whole like one country, two systems thing because they're like, okay, let's just storm and kill our Chinese people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What they're showing is they're showing urban combat tactics, and here's some naval stuff. There was actually a shot there of Hong Kong in the background. Sniper rifles, 50 cal sniper rifles.
What are you shooting? Your own base? I don't understand. There's no enemy bases there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is important. Okay, can you pause it there? Here you've got riot police, basically walking towards protesters, okay, and it says, warning, stop charging or we use force. Okay, let's continue on from there. And you can see, they're just very well set up. It's very well organized tear gas and, billy clubs and all that kind of thing. And tanks removing barricades.
Oh, okay.
Like APCs actually.
Now they're putting them back up.
Rolling out barbed wire, water cannons. Okay, you can see them leading off protesters with handcuffs, with their hands cuffed behind their back. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah. But it does say at the end, very quickly, you don't have to show it. It says at the end, the Hong Kong garrison PLA.
Yeah, it actually says.
So it is like you better back down, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna send the troops in, and there is a rumor. Mm-hmm. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but that billionaire dude in exile from the CCP?
Oh, yeah, that guy. He's
got some intel, apparently. It says that Hong Kong's going to declare martial law on August 4th, so we'll keep our eye on it.
That billionaire dude is just a corrupt piece of crap who ran away.
Sure, but
yes,
you can't discount the fact that he might have information.
In South Africa, I was once told by a South African police guy, and it says that you need devils to catch devils.
Correct.
So,
there's some truth to that.
Yeah, so basically the police in South Africa are just criminals, really, but he was like, you need devils to catch devils because they think alike. So yeah, I guess he knows what's going on.
All the best for the people in Hong Kong. Keep fighting the good fight. Don't back down.
It's such an interesting situation because I know a lot of people in Hong Kong, obviously, and they always approach it in the most civilized manner possible,
and humorous sometimes.
Yeah, especially they're putting up Lenin walls and things like that, but the aggression it's just. They try to stay away from it as much as possible. And, from the Hong Kong people I know, they're not the ones that are inciting.
No. My wife was talking to her friend the other day, pretty good friend actually, and she was in Hong Kong to do some shopping.
Yeah.
And then the protests were rolling through, and she made this, she sent this to Vivian and made a WeChat Moments post, and she was like, can these idiot Hong Kong people just roll over and die already? We have shopping to do. You'd be nothing without us. That's the mainland rhetoric with educated people even. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There is another thing. We quickly branch off on this, and that's what's going on in Queensland University.
Yeah.
Where the Hong Kong students had a peaceful Lenin wall and stuff, just saying, we stand with Hong Kong. And the mainland Chinese students actually came and physically assaulted them and tore their signs down and stuff.
It's not good press, dude. Guys, calm down.
It's just let people have their opinions.
Right.
Right. Anyway, this is that's very relevant to what we're talking about
For sure. But we do need to do a live check super chat.
Okay. We'll do
Let's do it. All right. First off, Louis Wynn, you just gave us $50. Thank you very much. I'm not going to read your question now because we've got several other ones, but we see you and we appreciate you. Robert Towler, thank you for the $20 donation. Cesario JPN. So China has their own version of North Korea cartoon Squirrel and Hedgehog. Do they have a sexy furry fox vixen as one of the baddies repping the U.S.?
Well, shout out to all our furry fans out there, furry fandom.
Yeah.
I've seen those cartoons from North Korea. They're pretty funny.
Okay.
I shouldn't say funny. They're kind of alarming. But very similar. They're armed and fighting all the time, killing the American animals and stuff. Which are
yiffing and clopping along the way.
I don't think they're yiffing and clopping.
Anyway.
I'm really embarrassed that we both know what that means.
Anyway. Okay. It's probably time we get into the main segment of our show, which is, of course, Soft Power Hour.
Yes.
Now, the reason why I said the whole aggression thing is very relevant to what we're talking about today is that from the youngest age, children are taught pretty much to hate in China, to hate the outside, to hate certain types of people.
Right.
Okay? And it's something very different to the way you and I grew up. And most people in the West, because this level of hate never enters the local sort of society.
Right.
It just doesn't. We're not taught. I was not taught as a young person to hate a specific type of person. Even though I grew up in South Africa, you would think that you would be. But that's not the case because we have a very liberal sort of Western education system and all that kind of stuff. We're taught to, love everybody and, respect
Everyone's
other
equal,
people, respect different cultures, look after different cultures. We're never told XYZ people, you must hate them because they're bad and, all that kind of nonsense. So let's start out with some of the things that some of us
actually, I wanted to say, we don't want to dive into this. We are going to dive into the hate culture thing, but we want to look at, how we grew up first, right?
Yeah, so we're going to play a little clip. Maybe some of you will recognize this. I certainly will, from when I was young.
There are times when everybody dreams of becoming very rich or powerful. but what they don't think about are the problems and responsibilities that go with it. In today's story, He-Man was tested, and he proved his worth when he was able to resist the temptation to use his great power for any selfish gain. He knew that it's just as important to know when not to use force as it is to know when to use it.
Cool. Can we pause it there?
Dude, how did He-Man back then already know about Xi Jinping? That's crazy.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's a very relevant choice, Winston.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, the thing is, I remember very clearly when I was young, He-Man was one of the big cartoons of my generation.
Sure.
Right? And they had to have these sort of PSAs at the end of every cartoon. But I remember it was always teaching you about friendship, teaching you how to share, how to watch out for danger, things like that. And these are good sort of morals and things to instill in younger children. And, I always, in my mind anyway, I thought around the whole world, this is kind of what people were taught, like children. So let's move on to one from your generation.
Yeah, this is mine. My choice.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, there's nothing more cool than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good. It's your body. No one has the right to touch you if you don't want them to. So what do? First, you say no. Then, you get out of there. Most important, you gotta tell someone you trust. Like your parents, your teacher, a police officer.
Yeah.
What if the teacher's the one that's touching you?
Exactly.
Probably don't want to tell him about it.
No, you don't.
Now, the reason I chose that, as meme-worthy as that is, and cringy and 90s garbage, it's a useful message for children, right? So, like, they're actually coming out of this with, like, some positive knowledge about maybe someone's trying to do something nasty to you, right? It's educational.
Sure.
Whereas the stuff that we're going to cover a little bit later from the Chinese stuff, there's no moral message to take out of that.
No, the only sort of moral message that's pushed is love the government,
right?
Love the country,
no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And this is where the comparisons stem from.
Yeah.
We have one more. I think we both watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
Let's roll that clip. It's one of my favorites growing up.
Me too.
It looks bad, guys. We've been all over South America, and there's no sign of Shredder.
Then who caused all this damage to the rainforest?
Unfortunately, people did. Hundreds of acres of the world's rainforest are being destroyed every day.
But all those trees and plants in the rainforest produce much of the world's oxygen.
And we need oxygen to breathe.
I don't know about you dudes, but I'm gonna start holding my breath.
He's always my favorite.
Cowabunga.
Another useful message, though. I mean, I don't know what kids are going to do to save the rainforest, but it might raise some awareness for charities and things like that.
No, the thing is, it's teaching children to protect the environment and to think about the environment. That's something you never see in China.
Right.
Well,
you know what you see?
What?
PSA is just promoting what the government is doing to help. Not like what you need to do to help. It's like what we are doing to smash pollution and
that's absolutely right. Yeah, the thing is, the reason why we chose these sort of like 80s and 90s cartoons is we grew up with that. It's just to show that there's always some kind of a positive message, like to help people improve or to understand life or to be good.
And feel good.
And to do good.
Right. As an individual.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Absolutely.
Did you guys ever watch Captain Planet?
Yeah.
That was like just one big PSA.
Right. We actually were gonna pick one from that. And I was like,
Planet.
that's too obvious.
Heart is not a power.
It's not a power.
Heart.
I think my favorite part was how like the villains would always be like a pig, and he's just literally dumping a barrel of oil into the ocean for no reason, just like they're not even gaining anything from it.
He's just he's the first troll, I like the fact that the chick was from the Soviet Union.
Yeah, exactly.
She'd always be like, you capitalist
pig. Yeah. Anyway,
that's good stuff. Yeah.
We could wax lyrical all day, but let's continue with this. So, next thing we're going to show you is actually something that we came across recently from China. You were going to talk about this.
Maybe the kids can help.
Yeah. What are some of the things that make you feel better when you're feeling sad?
Like, make me laugh or something like that.
So the reason I chose that, this is a show called Storybots, and I wanted to see what kids shows are like today, because everyone's like, man, kids are getting garbage.
You know, you've got a young daughter.
My daughter watches this show, and they have like Jay Leno on there, Weird Al Yankovic, like all these cool people, right? And there's always a message. They either learn about something, learn about what's it called, like how cells work, or different science things, or how to share, or how to deal with other people's feelings and things like that, right? So my point of this is like, today, still, kids are getting positive messages from Western cartoons and Western media.
Right.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at that thing that says content issues detected. Heads up, we've detected copyright audio in your video stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. So if it is blocked because we showed some, I don't know, Ninja Turtles or whatever it is, just bear in mind, okay? Just letting you guys know.
Oh, whoops.
Some of the music. It's usually music that triggers that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe DM's copyrighted.
Yeah, well,
Did you copyright yourself, dude?
No, I didn't. Are we moving on to this?
Yeah, let's just continue. If you guys can still watch it, that's all we care about.
Yeah.
People are saying it's not blocked, so let's continue. Can we just pause it there? So, this is kind of a little music video here. And what we're seeing is these cute little cartoon rabbits. But we can clearly see the Nationalist Party and
the current ruling party of Taiwan.
Yeah, and the Communist Party basically they're shooting the cute cartoon rabbits are like basically attacking the other ones, and
Tell me about that magical star he got in his hand.
Well, it turned him into a communist.
I thought it turned him into a demon.
Yeah, he looks like I will genocide you now.
Yeah, that's like such negative imagery, and there's weapons and there's fighting in this, and this is what we're tipping our toes and dipping our toes into right here. This is the kind of educational material that Chinese have to consume Chinese kids.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It does really bother me that like young children, because this is obviously aimed at very young children, are subject to this kind of imagery.
Right.
So from a very young age. And the thing is, we've got a lot of anecdotes that we're going to be talking about later, having taught kids, both of us, before back in the past.
Yeah.
You know, it reflects. You see how they come to class and they pretend to be killing the Japanese, and they pretend to be like, you know, the PLA and stuff.
I remember whenever before I'd come into class or whatever, the kids would be like picking on one kid, and they'd be like calling him the little Japanese ghost, and he's like the nerdy kid or whatever. He always get picked on. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool to be a Japanese ghost.
Sure.
It's pretty badass, like a JRPG thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There actually, I forget what it was called, but there was some indie movie that came out recently about, or it was years ago actually, but it was like some teenager. It's an American movie, and his best friend is the ghost of a kamikaze pilot.
There you go.
And it was a really weird movie, but interesting premise.
Cool. You can let this play out in the background, DM. I think there's no audio on it.
Yeah, the audio should go away shortly.
So yeah, these little inspirational dudes. This is what I was talking about. It's very similar to those North Korean cartoons.
Yeah. Very similar. Give it a second. It's still blaring out this. There we go.
Great song. There it goes.
Awesome.
So yeah, they look so evil.
They do. They look absolutely terrible. This is not good for kids.
Yeah.
The thing is, you see this kind of show on TV every day in China, but it's live action.
Yeah.
And this is just like a cartoonized, cute version of the same thing.
You think they'd vary the material a little bit more, but they don't, because like you have those fantastical war dramas. We talk about these all the time. One Chinese soldier kills 1 billion Japanese people.
Yeah.
They're always like these.
Yeah, like little bearded, nerdy guys with
tripping
little
over
round
tables.
glasses. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So at the end of this,
pause it there. They've got imagery here from the Long March, right? Which is, you know, a big part of the communist history. Okay.
So I don't think that's derogatory.
Yeah, sorry, let's continue on.
So basically this video rounds out with them reminiscing over the achievements of China, and a lot of them are super politically charged.
Yeah. And some of them I wouldn't really call achievements.
Sure.
You know, like they have the handover of Hong Kong as one of their achievements here.
Right.
There they are shooting the evil Japanese chicken. Is that a chicken?
He's a chicken.
Like
What's that?
That's
looks
the
like a Pokemon.
PLA, you know, with their tanks and looking all mean and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Like
He's got the commie stars in his eyes, and
I mean, the art quality is actually pretty good.
yeah.
And
He's eating this is a white rabbit candy. Those are very popular in China.
those are awesome.
Did he just eat the wrapper?
No, I think he ate
Okay.
the sweet.
All right.
anyway, they're showing like the inventiveness, I guess, of the white rabbit manufacturing or something. I don't really know what's going on there.
They're spending a lot of maybe it's a white rabbit plug.
That'd be really quite.
It's like a milk can. There's a handover.
There's a 1998 earthquake thing where they made a big thing of the PLA helping out the earthquake victims.
Right.
And there's the Shanghai Expo thing, and they're just showcasing all these great achievements.
Sure.
The handover wasn't an achievement. It was just like it was an agreement that was finally reached its thing.
Yeah, they really love that though.
Yeah, they love this like rescue of the.
Can you pause it for a second? I have a little beef with that. The whole. So if you guys don't know, bazillions of people died in the Sichuan earthquake in 2008. It was like 300,000 or something ridiculous?
800.
Was it 800?
I think it could have been as high as 800,000.
So, long story short, it was a devastating earthquake. A lot of people died due to poor building construction, right? Yeah. And number two, they covered it up. So no one was allowed to be like, send help. Because China didn't know what to do to like, we can't have the world find out about this. And the biggest reason that they blocked all news about this earthquake is because something called the mandate of heaven. So in traditional Chinese culture, if some massive natural disaster happens, it means it's time for the leadership to change.
Right.
So that was like kind of why that happened. But why are they celebrating that when they made it happen?
Well, here's the thing. I remember when that happened because I was in China when that happened, and there were a lot of good things that came from it. In the end, as far as unity of the nation is concerned, and that was really cool. But everyone was like, they had these mascots because it was 2008, the Beijing Olympics, right? That was their big thing. And they had these really weird looking little mascots, right? And people were telling me that those are cursed like devils because they caused the Sichuan earthquake. And there was another big thing that happened in 2008. I can't even remember what it was, but there was some other kind of disaster or something bad. Was that maybe the milk powder thing? Or,
maybe, yeah.
Whatever.
Same time period.
There were two big things that happened in 2008, the massive Sichuan earthquake being one of them. So they were saying it's the evil mascots, that they're a curse.
Right.
Anyway, the thing is, this horrendous earthquake killed so many people because you had children studying in class, buildings just collapsed on them, very poor construction quality. It turns out that like none of them were built properly.
No.
So then you've got the PLA came in to help, which is what they should do, but it's constantly used as a positive propaganda for the PLA. It's look.
I actually did a piece about that in my university class, and we were talking, because it was the whole curriculum was about like social media. Ironically, you'd never be able to teach about that now.
Yeah.
But I covered that, and I was like kind of asking them, like, what do you think about the relief efforts for the Sichuan earthquake? Because so much money was squandered in these fake charities and stuff within China. People were really salty about it. And I remember, but the rhetoric changed a couple years later, and they're like, it was a heroic thing that the PLA stepped in there and helped all these people out. And they instead of pointing the finger at the government, being like, why did you allow this building quality to happen, and why did you censor all results about the earthquake? Instead of that, which was kind of happening in the beginning, it moved over, and they're like, no, that was good. That's what brought our country together. It's like, what?
There was a lot of nonsense that happened during that time. I remember like a very experienced Japanese disaster relief company wanted to come over to help because they have a lot of experience because of all the tsunamis and all the earthquakes in Japan.
Yeah.
But China wouldn't let them because then they would lose face, letting Japan help them. I remember that being like, I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
But on top of that, there was a lot of help from everybody, like all different walks of life. People went to help. It was a big heroic effort. And, besides all that crappy political stuff, it did really bring everybody together trying to help the
Fair enough, but it could have been prevented if you didn't allow tofu buildings and massive construction bribery projects to go.
Absolutely. But, one thing that really disgusted me the most out of all of this, to be honest, was everybody virtue signaling, okay? And the company I worked for, so when I was working for that rapist,
right?
Remember that?
Yeah, I'm not laughing about that part. It's just that job was hilarious.
Anyway, so I was working for this big company, Shanmu Peishin, and the leader of the company thought that it would be a great time to, virtue signal. So he got all the foreign teachers to line up in a row. He got a big donation box that had written on the side there, Sichuan earthquake donation. And he got us all standing there, like fanning out the money. He came and he put like about 500 RMB in everybody's hands. He said, okay, you stand there. He put 500, and then he had him at the front, like pretending to put the money in to the box, and we're all lined up. So it's like, okay, we're all going to be putting the money in. They took the photo, and he took all the money back and then walked out.
Do you know how often this gets caught on tape? These government officials line up and they put the money in and then they clear the box out and they're done.
It was just like, to me, it was the most dishonest, horrible thing. I felt so bad. I ended up actually donating a huge portion of my salary to the Sichuan earthquake
Hopefully
fund.
it ended up there.
Yeah, you never know. But the thing is, like, it just appalled me.
Right.
You know, it made me feel so sick. So
right.
Anyway, that kind of thing happens. So
we didn't mean to talk about that so long.
No.
DM, can you roll the media?
Yeah, let's continue.
Keep
Sorry
going.
about that.
So these are the achievements. You had the Olympics, which was a huge deal for them. You have all the minority kids that are getting.
It was.
along.
Look, it was the time for China to come onto the world stage.
Sure.
You know.
Right.
And now they're showing their military.
Why do kids care about this?
I don't know. It's like, look,
they're forced to.
Look, we managed to sneak the secrets of the J-35 fighter out from America and built our own one. Yay!
Ooh, you said that very, very quietly.
Yeah, I did. Didn't I?
Anyway,
I saw people saying that when I posted that video on Instagram of that guy, that American dude in China who like his daughter was born in Beijing and he does those videos for China Daily, teaching her about the Belt and Road and everything. And obviously she's reading from a script and she's like, Papa, you said the Belt and Road isn't just about moving men and material to one place to the other. And he's like, no, of course not. And then she's like, well, can every country join? And he's like, well, it's China's idea. The U.S. hasn't joined yet. I don't know why. They must be imperialist or something. And it really is like, what 6-year-old in their right mind is asking about international logistics of moving shipping containers?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely
it shows you how out of touch the propaganda is.
So we showed how out of touch the children's stuff is. We could literally dig up hundreds and hundreds of different cartoons and videos, but we're gonna go on through like the age brackets, right?
Yeah.
So next thing we're gonna show is more targeted at like the rebellious teen generation.
Yeah. Let's see what's coming up next. Oh no, we're not.
I'm sorry. We're mobilizing the troops.
Yeah, pause that for a second. Remember when the whole Huawei thing kind of broke?
Yeah.
And Canada arrested the CFO, is it?
Yeah.
Of Huawei.
Meng.
Yeah, Meng. Princess Meng. Yeah.
Aww.
Anyway, 中国Meng. So what happened was, in like retaliation, almost immediately, this propaganda song for Huawei suddenly appeared.
Right.
So let's play a little bit of it. This crap is stuck in our head.
I wonder if
all the
people that
time.
don't speak Chinese are going to be as appalled.
Yeah.
We'll explain it though. Okay, audio's cut.
Yeah.
So basically what you're seeing is we picked two clips that represent children. This is the mobilization of children for China's
propaganda
purpose.
tool. Yeah.
You can explain like what's going on here.
Well, little kids all dressed in T-shirts that say China on them, like in a traditional script, and they're like, which is the most beautiful phone in the world? Which has the best signal? Which is the most high tech?
It's Huawei.
Yeah, it's Huawei. And then Huawei how? It means Huawei is good. And Huawei mei. Huawei is beautiful. Anyway, the thing is, after this was released, at first it was put out there as an official sort of a government-backed sort of thing. But then it got a lot of flack from
international press.
Well, not only international, but local too.
Yeah, Weibo, right?
And so then the company, Huawei, distanced themselves from it.
They were like, no, we totally didn't do that.
It was an independent company that made
Sure.
this by themselves. Meanwhile,
Right.
they obviously paid a company to do this.
When this dropped, my favorite aspect was that the whole rhetoric, the whole thing that Huawei
Why has a kid got an assault rifle?
Did you have to ask that? It's China, dude.
Yeah, anyway,
come on.
Sorry.
The whole thing was they were saying that no, let Huawei 5G into your country and Huawei products into your country because we have nothing to do with the PLA and nothing to do with the government.
And
and then they make this.
Yeah, which is a government-backed thing.
It says China,
Yeah.
and our country is the best, and we have the best phones, which is Huawei.
Yeah, and then
You link them.
exactly. You link them together with children in a PLA uniform and an assault rifle.
Did you ever find it super creepy with this kind of stuff, like any performance, that they always put makeup on the kids?
Oh, yeah, on top of that, they dub everything as well.
Yeah.
Have you noticed they obviously have bad microphones or something?
Bad camera as well.
Yeah.
What is this, 144p?
Yeah, well, come on, we downloaded this off Weibo. So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, okay, but yeah, it's cringy. It's got the worst catchy tune ever, and it just shows
It's
you.
poison in your ears, and
Now,
you'll.
Can you just pause it in a second? Yeah, okay. The next thing is this is a clip that we found a little while ago. We've shown it before and some of our other stuff, but this is actually what results. Okay, this is one of the things that kind of this all leads to. No, let's just play the clip and then we'll talk about it.
Let's just enjoy these credits.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people involved.
Yes, hell of a lot of people.
We could have done a better job shooting that.
Yeah.
Drone shots.
Yeah, drone shots of the kids.
Check this out,
Sounds
right?
bad.
Okay, can you pause it there? Okay, so for those of you at home, what you're seeing here is there's a big sort of a billboard behind these kids, and it says Happy Children's Day.
Yeah.
And the children are...
Get a good freeze frame on that.
Yeah. What's happening is there's a young girl. She has a Luger-style pistol.
Yeah.
She mows down a bunch of Japanese soldiers, kills them all, runs off, grabs the Chinese flag and lifts it in the air in this triumphant sort of thing with the Chinese national anthem playing behind it.
Right.
Now, you might think this is a little weird and extreme and out of the ordinary, but it's actually quite common.
Are you trying to say that when you were in kindergarten, you didn't have a play where you just shot a bunch of Soviets?
No.
Oh, weird. Neither did I.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. You never played Red Dawn on the playground?
Yeah.
Wolverines!
Yeah, actually, this is incredibly common because I taught kindergarten for about a year, in the beginning and when I first got to China. And, well, they have the typical flag raising every morning with the, national anthem, and they do all that stuff. It's kind of normal. But they have, every time there's, like, a play, some excuse to do a play, they'll do, like, some kind of traditional dance thing, they'll...
Little flags.
They'll do, like, some nice Chinese cultural stuff, but there's always somewhere in there's some kind of military-themed thing where they're killing Japanese people. These kids, by the way, are, like, 4, 5, maybe?
Kindergartners.
Why are you teaching children to shoot and kill people?
Nice freeze frame, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially the poor kids that had to play the Japanese people. You think they actually delineated a line in their mind? They're like, no, you're now Japanese people.
Yeah, it's not good. But this is so entrenched in Chinese society because not only do they have those shows on every single day. I remember I went to the Tencent Christmas party. Tencent is the people who make WeChat, and they're like the biggest internet company, other than Google in the world. And for their Christmas gala, they rented out this massive stadium. They actually had Wang Feng there, singing his songs, which was awesome. I actually really enjoyed that. And they always get big stars to come in there because they're the most, famous company in China. One of their big centerpiece performances was this. Exactly the same. They had a bunch of the Tencent staff, I guess, managers or something, decided to put on a play. So they all dressed up like, like the communists, and they got the Japanese to run on the stage, and they all shot him with fake rifles and stuff and did a whole big play like this. So this is a big international company, basically, for their big gala, condoning murder, murdering people as a play on stage.
Sure.
I guess you see it every day on TV, so it's got to be okay, right?
Yeah, my only issue with this is that, to bring it back to this whole brainwash thing, they bring these kids to the Japanese War Museum, right? And let's be honest, Japan effed up big time. They were disgusting.
Yes, we're not making excuses for them.
Holy Lord, the atrocities were, it's unparalleled. Yeah. But that being said, you don't take a 4- and 5-year-old to these museums to see people flayed and stabbing babies and all this kind of stuff. You're putting poisonous images in their brain.
In fact, let's go over to the pictures, okay? This, since we're talking about it, you've got these theme parks in China, okay, where they have these like reenactments of the Japanese coming in and killing a bunch of people, right? So they'll do these live action plays, kind of like if you go to Tombstone and every day you see the showdown at the OK Corral, that kind of thing. The difference here is though that they, of course, it's all flipped on its head and it's like historical fantasy. So you'll have some Japanese come and shoot some people, but then like some farmer peasants will come and like murder all the Japanese. It's going to be like a crazy thing. But these theme parks allow you to do things like stab straw men in like Japanese costumes with a bayonet and all this. And can we go to the next picture? Kids get to like dress up and shoot Japanese people with fake guns. And
my personal experience is when I went on that aircraft carrier that's now in the ocean.
Yeah.
Remember that was in the Minsk. It was in Shenzhen.
Yes.
I took all my students there, and the first thing you can do is pay like I think it was like 1 RMB, and you can shoot with the air gun. There's balloons all over the body of these American soldiers, but it's the typical like hook nose, like he's drooling and like gold gristled and stuff. So it's not just Japanese.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, so you get to shoot Japanese people acting to be Japanese. Let's go to the next one. You get to ride on vehicles and shoot Japanese people. It's a big thing. Now, this relates to me, okay? And I've got to tell you why. Years ago, probably 2007, 2008, thereabouts, I decided to do this crazy thing, which was to cycle on a bicycle from Shenzhen to Zhuhai. It was a 12-hour thing. It was ridiculous in the heat of summer. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I was starting to get sunstroke. I had a massive like tan on the back of my neck, as you do. So I put my handkerchief underneath my hat. If we go to the next picture. So that's me during the cycling trip.
You look like a dirty Japanese soldier.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Can you go back to the first picture? If you actually look at the Japanese soldiers, their military hats, it's like a cap with, it's sort of a cloth over the neck in order to stop sunstroke. So let's go back to me. See, I kind of look, I suppose,
marginally
like a Japanese soldier type thing. Anyway, I was just cycling through some random rural area, and children were throwing stones at me, shouting, Japanese Shaoruben Guizi, which means little Japanese ghost, and throwing stones at me. Okay? Do you understand how this hatred has... I'm talking about little kids that are like 4, 5, 6, like those grubby kids on the side of the road, picking up stones and throwing it at this random dude riding past on a bicycle.
I guess the most alarming thing for me is the fact that those kids at that age they've been force-fed this stuff so much that their initial instinct was to chuck rocks at you.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have any other perspective. Like, we got to take this guy down.
Yeah, we've got to throw rocks. And I was just like, what are you doing? First of all, I'm not Japanese, but even if I was, you're a rude little shit throwing a rock. Do you want me to throw a rock back at you? I'll throw a freaking boulder. Okay?
Yeah, you could be
I'll throw you. You little shit.
What if they actually thought you were a ghost? Like, for real? They're trying to banish you to the nether realm.
Yeah, with rocks.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it just shows you that this actually has real world
and it's not the kids'
repercussions. No, of course, it's because they've been fed all this hatred.
Right.
And
it starts young, for sure. So we're gonna move on to the older generation, how they're trying to target them.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep the propaganda going, right? You can't just stop.
Yeah.
DM's gonna scrub through this real quick.
Wait, why is it going at high speed now?
I don't know. Try play again.
Right, did I?
No, I think you're.
Whoa, dog.
I don't know what happened.
There's got to be a play thing.
That's fine. Maybe just close it and start it over, dude.
Okay.
It's the only
technical
way
difficulties. We're having technical. Good thing we have this drone footage behind us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's.
DM is gonna open this back up. This is the. Is it working now, DM?
Yeah.
No, it's still fast.
No, you've pressed something in VLC. There's some kind of a playback.
No, it's good now. It's good.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Okay.
All right, guys.
Let's just. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's just play this a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll talk.
Because this is time lapse anyway.
Yeah. Get us out because there's some subtitles.
I got elation from inspiration, writing a compliment song for the nation. While I'm talking about 2 sessions after wrecking in that section and into 4 sections to awake your acute vision and reduce tension. Just settle down and focus on what I eloquently mentioned about a true essential for countries development. Science, the air bears the weight of desire. Every civil needs to acquire.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring us back, but play it in the background.
Yeah. So. Oops. There we go.
Winston, that track freaking slaps hard, dude. That's fire. Now, let's explain this super quick.
Yeah.
The 2 sessions is basically when the Communist Party of China comes together and they decide what they're going to do that year.
Yeah, what is it? The main body and then the NPC council. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is actually called the NPC.
Yeah, it's called. Sorry.
Bureau, whatever.
Yeah.
So they get together. What you're seeing for those at home in the background is this rap song with all this incredible technology and science stuff going on and all these achievements, of what China has done. It's really like bigging up anything that they've done, right? So construction, which, the thing is, there is a lot that China can be proud of that they've done. They have made big strides in a lot of things, but
Do you know what you don't do?
What?
Is make a freaking rap song about it. This is the lamest garbage you've ever seen in your life. And they actually think they're touching the hearts and minds of these kids that like K-pop and all this kind of stuff. Do you think kids like this crap?
How about we make a rap about like a presidential debate?
Right, and the judicial system of the House of
Electoral
Representatives.
college is gonna vote on this and that.
Right, it's the same thing. Now, when the audio comes back in, I want DM to pause it because it's probably the most delicious nugget of video we've ever found. What happened is like I said, they're trying to appeal to the youngsters. They got this cool hip hop. They know rap of China is popular on TV, right? So what can we do? Let's make a Communist Party rap about how awesome we are.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to cringe out, but they think it's actually going to touch them, right?
Sure.
Now, what they did, I think, is run out of things to say.
Yes.
Because it literally seems like about halfway through the rap, he's just opening a thesaurus up and he doesn't even know the words he's saying.
Yeah.
And it just goes ape shit.
We don't even know the words he's saying.
I learned more English from this video than any video I've ever seen. Not even joking. So we're going to bring the audio back in this clip coming up here. And we'll disappear so you guys can see it.
Yeah. Get us out of there so they can read the subtitles. And let's go for it. It should come back.
It should be coming up, yeah.
We've got 2 sessions. Let me
show you Chinese. What are Chinese manners?
I'm not going to go there.
Okay. Fortitude presence.
Yeah. Well, come on. Where's our audio?
For the fragrance for blessing, the world we show our... Okay, we got 2 sessions. We know this now.
Yeah. Let me show you Chinese manners.
Tramp the bygone session. We're the fortitude presence.
Keep the environment alive. Yeah.
Don't sacrifice seaside sunshine. We can read it.
Yeah, we could.
It's like a summertime paradise. Likewise, butterflies in twilight.
Okay.
What?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, listen.
Satisfied Popeye. What is that?
Beneath light, bonfire reset, no way to get back. Ringing projects, never forgone by. Never gonna be the earth invader, forcing it into 100 gradations. Gonna be the player when in front of 30 looter.
What's different litholitis? What is that? Is that a word?
Okay, we don't need to hear any more of him, but yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So there's this thing. There's this thing that happens. This is like anthropology for me.
Yeah.
You know when you teach university students and there's always that one kid that like does the thesaurus trick because he wants to impress the teacher and he's reading off all these words that just don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Or using idioms that nobody would ever use to look smart. I have a feeling that's what happened with this. So they're like, we're going to show the world how awesome China is about the 2 sessions, which nobody knows what the hell that is.
No.
And then we're going to have this hip young dude rapping to appeal to the local audience. And then we're going to show everyone that China does know such badass, awesome English that you're going to be intimidated by us.
Seriously, what is a nephrololitis or whatever you say?
What's a larch?
I think it's a kind of tree.
Okay.
But why is it like a Popeye or something? What did you say?
How is that going to... Does Popeye eat larch?
I don't know what Popeye has to do.
Spinach, dude.
And Popeye's got nothing to do with the 2 sessions, okay?
Is your 1.4 billion people and the Communist Party of China in your massive 2 sessions meeting literally to appeal or appease a 1920s Popeye character from a cartoon?
That'd be pretty
That would be pretty sad.
Yeah.
No, that'd be pretty sad.
What was he talking about, like working in the crustaceous?
Yeah, like you'll go...
Is that like...
I recommend that everyone goes and checks that out because we cut out a lot of the most delicious pieces, but we thought that part was
We'll put a link when we finally make this,
Sure.
we'll put a link in the description when this video goes up. So
Necrophilia? What was it?
Necrophilolitis or something. I don't even know what that is. But
I don't want to have to scrub back to that, but
yeah.
someone in the chat's going to absolutely know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that song is fire. Absolute fire. And we got one more that we're going to talk over.
Yes. Okay. This you won't hear any audio because it's from a very famous bunch of pop
so
people.
this is the scary one. This is the one that might actually work because what we have here is the TF Boys, and I've been saying their name, as an acronym for something else, but you guys can come up with your own ideas about that. So this one actually is about the social credit system.
Yes.
So in case you guys don't know, the social credit system is a way that the Chinese government monitors how good you are in public for your public decency and how your manners and how your work performance is, and are you getting tickets when you're driving, or are you saying bad things about the party?
Yeah, are you jaywalking?
Right. So it's scary. It's like Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And these guys, they hired the most popular boy group, the TF Boys, to do a song about it.
And apparently the TF girls too, because there's lots of girls in here too.
Yeah. Well, the TF Boys are, the highlights.
Yeah, exactly. The bright lights, more like what they shine on them to make them look so white.
I think he must have 6 pounds of makeup on. Holy crap.
Anyway, enough of the Shaoxian roll, as they call them, means little fresh meat.
So my point is that, my point is the last one is cringy, right? I don't even think people might not even know who that guy was. But this is when you get pop stars raising their fist at communism and being like, yes, we should be monitored, be good to your word, let's let the Communist Party take over our lives.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this particular music video is they're talking about trust.
Yes.
Like, and they show that self, they had this thing, what she's doing now, she's walking into one of those grocery stores where you can go in and buy things yourself. It's like a, what do you call it? There's no person there.
Yeah.
So you go choose what you want, then you pay for it, but it's based on a trust system.
Right.
They failed.
Am I surprised?
I'm just saying.
Is that working in Japan?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, the thing is, they're showing those like shared bikes because they're having a lot of trouble with people just destroying them or stealing them or just mistreating them. So it's all about like, you've got to be a trustworthy person. And I find it, I mean, if it didn't have those overtones of the social credit,
what it is?
I actually think it would be a good message.
Sure.
Because China needs more messages like this.
Sure.
They do.
Right.
Because there is no trust in society. People just take advantage. They will just wreck everything if they get given the chance.
Especially the lost generation.
Yeah.
I should say mostly the lost generation.
Yeah, mostly the lost generation. But you've seen what happened to the shared bikes.
Yeah.
You've seen what happened to anything that's kind of free or there's a giveaway. Place gets demolished. Buffets, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this kind of message is actually a positive one.
Sure. But it is literally trust the government. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like trust the social credit system. There shouldn't be any backlash against this because we're all peaceful members of society and we love everyone.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's that hidden darker side to it, but at the same time, it is always good to have some kind of a positive message out there.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing wouldn't work
No.
in other countries because we prefer to see some random rappers or something talking crap about money and hoes or something.
Right. HOG, Honor the Ghetto.
Yeah.
HOG wouldn't be rapping about the 2 sessions, that's for sure.
Actually, when I interviewed them, they were complaining a lot about what they couldn't talk about.
Yeah.
They couldn't say anything political.
It's so much worse now.
It's gotten way worse. And also the fact that, they've got tattoos and stuff, but they have to cover them up or they're not allowed to perform in public.
They're hog, dude. You can't cover those tats.
Come on, hog, dude. Honor the ghetto, dude.
How are you going to honor the ghetto with covered up tats?
Yeah, exactly. And singing about like fried rice or something because that's all you can.
Do you think those guys would have street cred if they came to the U.S.?
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
88 Rising, that Chinese label based out of LA, tons of huge Chinese rappers here now.
I've got to say, like, the people that I met during that documentary specifically made a big impression on me. Like that Gulu Lee guy, that like perverted photographer dude.
Oh, yeah, that guy. He's pretty cool, though.
He's cool. I always wear his shirt all the time. These are the guys that are taking massive risks,
Sure.
When you get people here in America and other Western countries running around, I don't know, splashing the walls with their period blood or something, they think they're doing something great, okay? Look at our expression. You're not doing anything because this society allows that kind of thing.
Right.
When you try to express yourself in a society that doesn't allow it and that is oppressive, that's real courage.
Right.
Those are the
that's when the real hogs come out.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to honor the ghetto, man.
Right.
The honor of the ghetto, by the way.
I'm sorry. Well, it should be called Thog.
What does it say under there? I can't even read it.
It says, gotta bring in golden age back. I'm sorry, guys. Yes.
Haug.
Yeah, honor the ghetto, dude.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Thog.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Watch Sales from China. You'll get to know all about these guys.
Sure.
They're freaking cool.
We have a lot of fun here, guys, on the show, don't we? Anyway, let's just wrap this up.
Okay.
Do we have any photos that we need to show? I think that's about it, right?
We show those.
So yeah, it goes through the ages, and the weird thing is that they seem to be targeting. And we talk about the lost generation all the time. It's the 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
These are the people that cause real irreparable damage within the government and society.
Yeah.
Not the young people, right? But these people only get the red banners. These kids are getting this stuff force-fed to them, right? So I think it's less about like actually making society better and more like you need to trust the party because
Yes.
things are about to get harsh.
There is that issue with the fact that the rotten apples, which are the lost generation, they're the ones bringing up the grandchildren.
Right.
So those 4 or 5-year-olds that are busy shooting down the Japanese
or
and
chucking
stuff.
rocks at you.
Yeah, the grandparents are there. You can see them in the background, filming it, laughing, having a good time. I think if it was someone of like, let's say, our wife's age, they'd probably be appalled. They'll be like, "Hey, I don't want my kid like doing this."
Right.
But because
no way.
The old guys are like, yeah, hell yeah, give them Japs hell,
That's exactly what they say.
They do.
Too, if you directly
Yes, if
translate
you hear
it.
what they
It's
say.
actually worse.
I filmed, remember, I've got that great clip where I was filming those guys watching one of those like war fantasy things on TV, and like the guy shot some Japanese. He's like, yeah, remember I got that?
Yes,
It's
I
like,
love
what
that. I went to Vivi's grandma's house once, and she likes to watch those.
Yeah.
She's like military. She used to drive a
Sure.
PLA truck. Anyway, her son, right, Vivi's uncle. It was about Japan, obviously. They're fighting the Japanese soldiers, and the only thing he kept saying was like, "Japan is so little." It says, if you look at a map, look at how little Japan is. It's like, dude, let it go.
Yeah.
It's like dick size comparison.
Yeah, it's silly. I mean,
Doesn't that also like kind of isn't that a smack on China that they were able to get invaded by such a tiny island?
Don't mention that. The thing is, we see similar stuff in the West with all the constant anti-Nazi movies and stuff, but. And I wanted to draw parallels here because you do, like, you'll see Inglourious Basterds or something, which is just like also fantasy.
Right.
It's all, a bunch of made up nonsense most of the time. But at the end of the day, I remember growing up and we had films like The Dirty Dozen and things like that, where it's like real kind of war stuff where the guys are trying to escape the enemy and do all this stuff. It's a bit more based in reality. And it's not as blatantly over the top.
Right.
And I didn't grow up hating Germans.
Right.
All right, we grew up to know that the Nazis were bad,
right?
All right, and that Hitler was bad,
right?
But I had German friends,
right?
And you get to know, hey, German people are great, but in China they're
never taught that.
No, they're teaching the kids to hate Japanese
History
people.
is current for them.
Yeah, and again, I've repeated this many times, but when I was teaching kindergarten, I remember very clearly my teaching assistant saying to all the very young children, "Don't ever trust Japanese people. They're all liars and cheats and all this kind of stuff." And I pulled her aside and I asked her, "Do you know any Japanese people?" Because I had Japanese friends in China at the same time. She's like, "No, I would never have a Japanese friend. I'd never talk to a Japanese person." And I was like, "Well, where are you getting your information from then? You can't say something like that." But unfortunately, that's what the young generation in China are being taught.
Sure.
Anyway, I think we've said our piece about this. Let's move on to our next segment, which is
Guanxi Corner. But we have to do a super chat.
Oh, we do. So after the little intro, let's hit that super chat. Sorry about that. I'm always rushing ahead.
Alrighty. Lawrence Post says, "Greetings from Connecticut. Are you coming back east? Here's the best to you." And gave $20. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. I remember that you were the winner of a certain giveaway that I had on my channel, which is cool, and you've always been a very good supporter. Yeah, of course we'll be out east at some point.
We'd love to do a little bit more exploring. By the way, guys, this upcoming Monday, the ADVChina is going to be the one that we shot with Prozzy.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you all know. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's a good one, too.
It's all three of us. We're talking about, basically, does China attract scumbag foreigners? It's going to be it's a good topic.
It is a good one. It is a good one. Cool. Maybe we can do one more, because I saw there were so many built up.
Yeah, let's have another
one. We got, let's see, Michael Lacko says, "Hi, how's it going? Where's your tie, Winston?"
Well, I told you, I'm trying to appeal to the youth.
Well, yeah, it's in the honor of a ghetto.
The honor of the ghetto. You don't wear a tie in the ghetto, man.
They'd hang you by it.
Yeah, exactly. What does that say again?
It says, "Gotta bring the golden age. Gotta bring the golden age back."
There we go.
It's DA.
Yeah, that's what's okay. Exactly. Gotta bring the golden age
script.
Back. Love it.
Love the hog.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
All right, so Guanxi Corner, Dia.
Yes. So, we want to do the question first and then the video?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Hi, La Winners and Awesomeites. This is your buddy Ian. I started a training center in Shenzhen, but recently decided to sell it. I transferred all of the customers, classes, and credits to the new owner. They won't lose anything. However, they thought that I was trying to run away with their tuition, despite me explaining everything clearly. My wife and I had to run away in the middle of the night, but only after they imprisoned me in my own school for 4 hours. Lawyers looked over the contracts, and everything is above board. I took a video. For your viewers and listeners, maybe you can explain how this happened. Love your show.
Hey, Ian. Long time no see. Ian's our buddy from China. Not from China.
No, we met him in Shenzhen.
From America, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a school, right?
Yeah, I mean, remember, this was a long time ago. He used to come hang out at the Churchill Customs shop.
Yeah.
We sold him a motorcycle.
He's a skateboarder, remember?
Yeah, we sold him a motorcycle. Nice guy.
Yeah.
He got a fresh start in China. He was kind of struggling in the US. He came to China. Made a good thing of it. He got married. He had a kid. And he started a training center.
Successful one, too.
Yeah, and this is kind of like the progression of a successful foreigner in China. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is.
You did it too.
Yeah.
Get married, have a kid, open a training center. That's pretty much how it goes.
It is. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. It's pretty much the only thing you can do.
So, I mean, you've run a training center, so you have a little bit more insight into how this all works. So can you explain, what they're about to see?
So Ian sent us a video of him being held ransom within his own school. And what you're about to see is all the parents freaking out saying, give us our money back, right? And this is the kind of mob mentality and lack of foresight, lack of looking into the details that you'll often see in mob culture in China.
Yeah.
So when I was running my school, you'd have the people pay the receptionist the tuition. Mm-hmm. They'd get either vouchers or WeChat updates about how many classes they have left, when they are. Everything was scheduled and by the books. Now, when I sold my school, I made sure that I had finished all of those things. It didn't transfer to someone else. I cut off everyone and said, listen, this is either you get your money back or you have this amount of classes left. What Ian did was sell his school, and this is correct.
Yeah.
And he transferred all the classes over to the new owner, who communicated with them that, yes, it's going to continue. The teachers are changing because the school is changing hands. Yeah. Sold his license. His wife's name was on everything. It was fully above board, right? Yeah. But in this clip, you're going to see them shouting at him and saying, give us our money back over and over again, getting all propaganda chants going. Yeah. Let's just roll the clip.
Yeah, let's roll the clip. Okay, so...
Okay, excuse me. I'm going to be going now. Okay? You cannot hold me against my will. I'm going to leave on my own free will. I'm going to leave on my own free will. Okay. Very funny. I'm going to leave on my own free will.
No problem.
Okay?
You
Are you not letting me...
there? I mean, obviously you've got like a ringleader here, which is that woman.
Yeah.
And so she says, hey, everybody, he's recording. Everybody start recording. So then they pull out their phones, and then the guy over there is like, give me back my money. Let's continue.
Leave? Are you not letting me leave?
Excuse me. Again?
We got the old Magic the Gathering, this is China card. It literally defeats any other card.
Yeah, but did you hear what that guy said? He was like, your wife cheated us.
你老婆骗我们.
Yeah, exactly.
偷大家的钱.
Yes, so took everyone's money.
Stole.
Yeah, stole everyone's, yeah. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, excuse me.
Like I said, we are not...
Give us back our money.
So, you guys are...
You stole our money. Give it back to us.
We have not taken any... We have not taken any money from you.
Okay, let's just pause it there. She's chanting all these things like, did we give money? Yes.
Are we having a peaceful demonstration? Yes.
Are we going to call the police?
Are we good by the police? Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Why does this happen?
Well, what happens is there's so much distrust. So just in the city where I set up my school, no one ever felt slighted because they're dealing with me directly. When you get some of these bigger ones or unlicensed ones, what'll happen is they'll take all the tuition and run off. Usually they're Chinese run, not foreign. Yeah. They'll take all the tuition and run away, close down, move to a different city. So a lot of people get burned by this. So these people, I don't know if they've been burned before, but they know that this type of shtick happens, right?
Yeah, you can't actually blame them.
No, because it happens.
Yeah. And not only with training centers, especially things like gyms.
Right.
They open up and then they sell you like a 6-month or a 1-year membership. And then they will close down and there's no recourse. No. Your money's gone.
Right.
This happens with a lot of like educational or, that kind of thing. So I've seen it happen multiple times. It's happened to me. It's happened to friends of mine, especially with gym memberships.
Yeah.
I'm not a gym boy, but there was a gym near my place and I decided I'd get a membership so I could go use their like steam room and stuff. Yeah. And it was like, a month later, they just disappeared. I arrived there, the doors were shut, had that, the lock on the door, the bicycle lock, and that was it.
It's all dusty.
And it's happened to so many people that I know of
Yeah.
that they've spent money and then it just the guy runs away. It happened with like the shared bike thing.
Yeah.
Which one? The Blue Go one, where the CEO, everybody
It's like
gave
the investors.
Yeah, they put in like a 200 RMB deposit, and then he just ran away with all the money, and they couldn't get their money back.
Right.
This is a typical thing that happens in China all the time. So they're obviously worried that because he sold his school, he's just going to take the money and leave. And they're not going to get their classes. But in actual fact, he had transferred all the classes.
The lawyers even looked it over.
Exactly. It sucks, but they actually had him under arrest. Like they kidnapped him basically for 4 hours in his own school.
Right.
And like he said, he had to leave in the middle of the night,
He's got a newborn child.
Cloak and dagger thief kind of a thing.
Right.
And to be honest, this is a nightmare scenario for any foreigner to be in China.
It is.
Because did you see one of the first things she said? Well, this is China. This is China.
That's the only excuse. Shuts everything down.
Yeah, you can't do anything if you're not Chinese in China because this is China.
You also can't have a conversation. You can't be like, listen, guys, this is how it is. They'll just scream at you the entire time.
It's like, if you don't like it, go back to your country.
You see the tactic she uses is riling up everyone and doing the chants. They've been doing that since they were kids, right? Yeah. It's scary stuff. If there's any advice to learn, avoid situations like that, for God's sake.
Avoid confrontation in China, pretty much, if you're there. So that's our Guangxi Corner. I think it's time for us to have a super chat. Yeah, let's have a super chat.
All right, let's do it. Privacy says, wait, let's scroll back down. I saw a Chinese lady touch a 400-year-old painting, and when I scolded her, she laughed and smirked. It made me wonder what Chinese attitudes are to historical heritage. What are museums like there?
Well, to be fair, when China, promotes the destruction of its own culture during the Cultural Revolution, there's not going to be a whole lot of respect left over.
Again, it's got a lot to do with that generation. This has happened a couple of times. It wasn't that long ago where some woman was filming her kids playing in the art gallery, wherever it was overseas somewhere.
Right.
And the kids smashed the art installation, and she didn't do anything. She just kept filming them, and it was a big laugh. I've seen the grandparents allow the kids to climb onto statues and stuff, which are obviously there's ropes around them to say no, or climb into the gardens. There's a certain generation of Chinese people that have no concept whatsoever when it comes to historical value.
Yeah.
Like those guys that go to Japan and then they walk into the sacred spring at the temple and start trying to scoop it into bottles of punch deer or whatever. It's just a certain generation.
Deer butcher.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it's all Chinese people. It's just that generation.
I mean, I can't. I think we're beating this to death every time we got it. You guys have to make a line to separate the lost generation versus the new, younger Chinese people that would absolutely never do that stuff.
Don't forget, these are the people that sold their own parents and their teachers out to the communist government and got them sent to concentration camps or sent to labor camps or outright murdered their own teachers and stuff.
They had
the people that were starving and were eating their own children. We're talking about a very, very bad bunch of people, and they're all still alive.
Right.
And the ones that survived are the worst, because those are the guys who were the most tenacious, willing to do the most dirty things in order to get to where they are. So you're dealing with
obviously not all of them.
Yeah,
but,
I'm being melodramatic and over the top here, but when you run into these despicable deeds that you see, if you ever hear about Chinese people doing bad things, it's always from that same generation. Because
it's not youngsters.
No, and that's because of the environment they grew up in. You got to understand, it was tough, man.
You got to understand.
You got to understand China.
You got to love China. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
Old fans will get that.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on to our worldview?
Let's do it. Not even old fans. Wasn't that last week?
Yes. Yeah, last week. So, worldview is where we talk about something in the news that's got something to do, usually with China as well.
Yeah. Don't even need to introduce that anymore, do we?
Yeah, not really. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is, let's roll the clip, shall we? We'll just play it in its entirety, and then we can discuss it when it's done.
Sure. Maybe make us go away.
Yeah.
100 meters freestyle. An excellent swim it was. The second gold medal of these championships. It is.
Calm down, Sun.
Goodness me, what was that? That was in the face of Duncan Scott. Is that right? Sun Yang of China He's not shaking hands with Duncan Scott, but that was enormously aggressive. Well, look at that on the right-hand side. Duncan Scott shaking hands with the other guys, but he's refusing to shake hands with the champion, Sun Yang. This is very, very interesting indeed. Sun Yang promoted into the goal because Rapsis twitched on the start and therefore was disqualified, having touched the wall first. Oh dear, he's now getting booed massively. Listen to this.
All right, okay. Bring us back.
All right.
So I was a swimmer.
Yes, you were.
Maybe I can introduce real quick. This is a 200-meter freestyle event, and Sun Yang from China was the winner. Very, very close margin. It was a good race. But why is there a controversy around this man?
Well, you see, this Duncan Scott is not the first person to snub him at the podium. And, obviously, our old friend Mac Horton didn't even stand on the podium.
Right.
And we have an ADVChina years ago now when this first happened.
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's the thing about Sun Yang is that he's a national hero in China, okay, because he does well at swimming, of course. But he was suspended in 2014 for 3 months because of doping. He was found to have, what was it called?
It was, I think I have it here on my notes if you want me to read it.
Yeah, if you can find it. Anyway, he was found to have a performance-enhancing drug.
Trimethazine.
Okay, in his system. So he got a very hush-hush suspension.
Right.
That wasn't made very public. I think he said it was because he was taking some medicine for his heart or something, which
like
is,
that.
whatever. You got to understand China. No, okay. Yeah. You have to understand that whenever there's a doping scandal in the Western world, it's like Michael Phelps
smoked weed and you got lambasted and suspended, right?
If you're caught doping, your career is pretty much over. Not in China, though. You caught doping, they'll keep it hush-hush and, just figure a way to...
You remember what they did in the Olympics? They'd have, the athletes in these boats off water so they wouldn't be tested.
Yeah, that's right.
They promote it.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so the thing is, he was caught doping. So Mac Horton, when he...
The Australian guy.
he beat him.
Right, and not physically.
No, just at swimming.
Sure.
And on the podium called him a drug cheat. And
as he was,
because of his history of being the doping suspension, right? And because of that, there was this big backlash from the Chinese netizens who went crazy. They jumped over the firewall using VPNs and went onto Mac Horton's Instagram and stuff and just swore at him and you must apologize to Sun Yang, all this crap, and they went completely crazy. And most of them actually didn't know about the drug thing in 2014.
No.
And if they found out about it, they were told, oh no, he was just taking cough medicine or whatever, and it's a false reading.
It was a heart thing, like a heart medicine.
Heart medicine, and it's false reading. Okay, whatever. You can say it is what it is.
So why did this happen?
Yeah, okay. So there was this kind of impromptu drug test. They sent a nurse and a team to Sun Yang's house.
In China?
Yeah, in China to go and draw blood and do a off-the-cuff test. Because that's how they catch these guys out, right? Anyway, during this whole session where they were drawing blood, there's a bit of a scuffle because Sun Yang was challenging whether or not the nurse was an accredited nurse or not.
Gotcha.
While this was happening, Sun Yang's mother told Sun Yang's security guard
this is getting weird.
To smash the vial of blood with a hammer.
Right.
Which then happened. So why would you be smashing the blood unless you have something to hide?
Oh, it's a setup.
Because it's not real accredited nurse. Whatever the case, it casts a lot of doubt on the validity of Sun Yang. Is he doping again? Why would he smash the blood if he wasn't guilty? Either way, this sparked off a new sort of in the professional swimming field, this whole new thing where the other swimmers, Mac Horton didn't get on the podium, this dude didn't shake his hand.
Right.
It is unsportsmanlike of these guys to do this, but they're trying to take a stand against what they're seeing as this willful ignorance. It's like they're ignoring the whole drug thing when it comes to China because they don't want to upset China or Sun Yang. And I just thought of a great thing that we should do because there's always those pictures of Sun Yang real strong coming out the water let's make him green and say Sun Yang smash.
Nice. With a little
broken blood vial. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Anyway,
you see this all the time. Like in the Olympics, remember they had the gymnasts that were actually underage for their class because they performed better?
Yeah.
China cheats at sports. I hate to say this. And that's what happens when you have a one-party state that relies on face and like everyone must respect us. You know?
Soviet Union did the exact
same thing.
Yeah.
Took a page out of their book.
Yeah, and they got young athlete girls and they were injecting them with testosterone and all those.
Getting them hairy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyway.
Did you guys ever see that story of the I think it was Poland versus the Russia? I don't know if it was before independence or immediately after, but they were playing water polo, and obviously the Poles and the Russians like hate each other at that time period, and the players, they would push each other under the water and then beat the crap out of one another underwater where no one could see it, and all the players were coming up bloody as heck. I don't know if it was in the Olympics or what, but I don't know if that's cheating, but I guess it's kind of it's like hockey. They're just going ham at each other.
Yeah, it's very unsportsmanlike. I'll have to look into that. It sounds kind of entertaining.
Anyway, so that's what's going on in the news.
That is what's going on in the news. So yes, I just have to say though that I don't really know how to approach this. I do think that it's unfair the way that Sun Yang was definitely suspended for taking some kind of performance-enhancing drug, and that it hasn't had any repercussions whatsoever. Right. Whereas I feel like if any of those other swimmers over there were ever caught with that, their careers would be over.
I think it's going to change the whole way the testing board works. It should be an international affair, not like this domestic thing where you can just smash a vial and continue to compete.
Yeah.
But we're going to follow up on this. I think he's going to go before a committee.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Sun Yang you later.
That's terrible. Okay. Sorry. Smash that like button.
Yeah. There you go. Like that vial.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit the questions, shall we? Q&As.
Yes, we shall.
All right. As you know, this is where we answer questions from Instagram, super chats, and various other things, and hopefully help you understand something better.
So. Yeah.
Indeed. All right. We'll do Lewis Wynn's question. He asked a long time ago. We're finally getting to it. Hey guys, I'm a big fan. You guys have gotten me through some tough times. You inspired me to one day drop everything and do motorbike trips around the world. I can't thank you enough. Hope to see you on the road one day. Have a few beers on me. So I guess it wasn't a question, but thank you very much nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say something about that. I want to say that, well, first of all, I'm incredibly happy and humbled by the fact that you took some inspiration from us.
Yeah, absolutely. To get on a bike and go around the world, that's exactly what we do and we would like to do. So to see other people doing that, it's amazing.
Yeah, and
so thank you.
Keep on doing it, man. Keep on doing it.
DM.
Sweet.
All right. We got, you can call me Neck. So I guess we'll just say Neck, his question. Will C-Milk vote in the New York Democratic primary?
No.
Okay, next question.
Thank you for the super chat.
All right, we'll go to Instagram now. We got a good one from Sabaris. Good afternoon, lads. I recently applied to universities in China, and I was quite shocked when I saw that the universities would ask personal details such as the name of family members, religion, and similar affiliations, addresses, and telephone numbers of even distant relatives. I felt like my privacy was being invaded and unnecessary information was being given to them. Is this kind of thing common in China? Cheers.
You want to start with this one?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Yes, very common. And it's something that I think maybe the West is a bit more perverted when it comes to this. The West is too private.
Right.
I mean, people think too highly of themselves.
Yeah.
They do. Everyone's going on, oh, you know what, like Google, Alexa, Amazon, they all take all my personal details. They're stealing my... Who gives a crap? Who are you?
That's why there's such a big market for things like Alex Jones and stuff. Yeah, it really appeals to that.
Who are you that you're so important that you're like...
Buy 24 eggs. God damn it.
Exactly.
They know.
Yeah. Oh man, they know what to give me as an advertisement because I like to buy this. It's like, oh man, I'm so violated. You're a nobody, just like us, just like everyone else. You know, that's the thing. Privacy is important, yes.
So is skepticism.
Yeah. It's important to a certain degree though. But you have to understand, China is totally on the way opposite.
Well, I was just going to say, just don't use the products that you're concerned about. That we have the freedom to do that. Whereas in China, you don't have the freedom to avoid those things.
It was like I was explaining with the CVs or resumes. When you apply for a job in China, you have to provide a picture.
Right.
And when I was hiring people, I remember an American guy sent me a CV, and I replied to him and I said, "Oh, that's great, but we need to see a picture." And he was so insulted. He was like, "That is discrimination. How dare you?"
It doesn't work like that there,
like, this is China, dude. Like, just like that one. this is China.
You pulled it. You pulled the TIC, yeah?
It is, yeah. No, that's
you
true.
ticked him.
It's true, though, because in China, that's what you do. If you apply for a job, they can be discriminatory.
Sure.
They can. That's how it is. And yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to succinctly answer that question, it's so common, and you are not going to be the one that changes the system.
No, you
got to get that through your head. And unfortunately, those principles of liberty don't carry over there.
And look, they do want to know your religion and stuff, so that they know whether or not they have to keep a closer eye on you.
Yeah, if you say you're Catholic, Muslim, any big religion that doesn't look up to the CCP or follow CCP, they're going to watch you.
They are going to be a little bit more careful with you. You know, you might find yourself in a concentration camp somewhere, maybe. No, just kidding. No, but quite seriously though, they do keep a close eye. We knew some evangelical Christians who were smuggling Bibles and stuff in and trying to do their thing. And they got busted. You know, this is a thing that happens a lot because it is against the law in China to proselytize. Is that how you say it?
Proselytize?
Whatever. Prostitute yourself. Whatever. No.
That as well.
Yeah,
that is also
totally.
illegal,
But it's very much against the law to do this kind of thing. So they want to keep an eye on that. And I mean, rightly so. That's their country. If they don't want you spreading their word of God or Hindu Allah or whatever it is, you know.
All of them mixed up.
Yep, all of them together. They don't want that. So that's what they're looking out for, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, anyway, continue.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Bay Area 852 asks, will the internet eventually be censored in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I mean, of course, but that probably not for a while.
Yeah, once they take over in 2047 or whatever it is.
That's a guarantee. Yeah. Before then, it could happen.
Yeah, which is a pity because it's one of the fastest internets in the world.
It's amazing.
Because one of the main pipelines comes in there, and it's incredibly fast. It's so cool. Yeah. Anyway.
More.
Next up, we had on that same note, we had someone from Instagram ask, what is the situation currently in Hong Kong? I'll be in Shenzhen in September, and I'm planning to fly into Hong Kong to go to Shenzhen.
Well, the extradition bill isn't in place yet. Number two, I'm just going to go out of my way and assume you're not some political dissident, so you're okay. Number three, Hong Kong's still safe. You
know, I was there during those big riots, the umbrella riots in 2014. And even at the peak, when they had like...
Not at the peak of Hong Kong.
Okay. The peak of the riots, the height of the riots.
Sure.
They had blocked off all the main roads, you know, for the government on Hong Kong Island. They'd done all sorts of things. They had everything barricaded. All this stuff was going on. But at the same time, people could freely go and do their business. They were not stopping people from doing their usual thing, and it was safe. It was super safe.
Yeah.
You know, just don't go and get involved in the riots.
Yeah.
That's all.
Just don't go play. Don't go play, as they say in Chinese.
I said riots. I meant riots and protests and whatever you want to call them.
Definitely not riots.
Not riots.
Not yet.
Well, yes. Just keep your distance from that stuff, and you're totally fine.
Sure.
And you know, it was smooth. Hong Kong's an amazing place.
Probably our favorite place in the world.
It's still, even with all this turmoil going on, it's still an awesome place, and you will be safe.
You'll be fine.
Totally. Yeah. So.
Next up, Bilal Rahmani asks, they say, I lived in Hainan 3 years ago, had a real rough time making male friends there. Do you think the culture has changed? I'm too brown, or is it just me?
Ooh, Henan is going to be the worst province in terms of Han chauvinism.
Yeah.
I don't want to crap on anyone there, but even our driver from Henan, who was really nice, like a sweet guy, had so many barriers in his mind that you just can't be friends with foreigners, even though we tried to bring him into everything.
Sure.
We speak fluent Chinese. Yeah. He liked talking to us, but he had this barrier, like, I'm Chinese and you're foreigner, so it's too different, you know? It is hard, I get it, and Henan's going to be one of the worst places to do that.
And discrimination, the fact that you're brown,
doesn't help.
It's not going to help at all. Discrimination is a huge problem in China. I've done a video about that on SerpentZA. Go watch it. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, you'll always get people that are nice, but...
My advice, though, is that whatever you're into, whether it be basketball or maybe you like pool, billiards or something, or darts or whatever, try to make friends through activities because you're not just going to randomly stumble across friends.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. From the chat, the general chat, Island Designer asked, does all milk in China come from dogs?
Yes. Continue.
Next up, we got Neck. I think this is on the topic when we were talking about the reenactments. He said, it's historical revisionism. The KMT did most of the fighting. I don't know if you want to comment.
That's correct.
Correct. All right. Hi, Winston. This is from Ritzio25. I'm a huge fan. Sent you a tweet about an unfair trial that happened in Thailand. Long story short, teenage girl spends 6 years in prison. Thoughts?
I didn't get the tweet. Sorry,
Maybe you can just reply to them.
Yeah, I will reply. But thank you. I'll take a look.
Okay. Next up from Instagram, we had someone asking about the difference between U.S. and China in terms of food health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually reading more into this question. He was asking, was that he or she? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyway, they were asking whether food in America or food in China is healthier, and I think it's an interesting topic because the food in China would be healthier than American food if it wasn't tainted, like you said.
Absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing. In China, they believe in it being fresh.
Yeah.
They don't refrigerate stuff for the most part. Every day, my wife used to do it. You know, our mother-in-laws do it. They go down to the local wet market. They buy fresh vegetables, fresh meat, and they prepare the food for that day on that day.
A good video to watch is our ADVChina video. It's fresh or nothing in China.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was a good video.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, it is fresher, and so it is healthier.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Everything's fried in oil though, so
Yeah.
everything is very oily. Although there's a lot of steam stuff too, so you know, whatever.
You can eat healthy, but it's the chemicals.
It's
the
the
bacteria.
problem is now the vegetables that they're buying, you don't know where they're grown. Most of them are grown. Remember, 70% of arable land in China is tainted and full of chemicals and stuff. Yeah, and water. So when they're going and buying these cheap vegetables from the wet market, it's literally just some local dude who's growing some crap on a piece of land.
Literally with crap sometimes.
Yeah. Well, they do. They use human
waste.
feces to fertilize
Night
in
soil.
China. Yeah, they call it night soil. Yeah, but
Gross.
yeah,
that's like
anyway.
a cool name for a band or something.
Yeah, night soil. Yeah. The thing is, like, remember we would ride through the rural countryside, and you would see farmers spraying these chemicals.
Remember the bottles? Remember I googled some of them and they're totally banned.
Yeah, everywhere in the world except
Everywhere,
China. Like these really bad growth hormones, chemicals, and things like that. They call it nongyao.
Nongyao. Yeah.
So you know you've got these terrible chemicals.
medicine.
Yeah, you've got tainted soil and water.
Right.
So these cheap vegetables that your wife and your mother-in-law are going to go and buy, they're actually going to be tainted.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not.
That's why those tourist farms are so popular. Like people go and pay to pick like vegetables like lettuce.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do it in America with like blueberries or something, but they go to pick lettuce because they're like, we don't use nongyao. We don't use this and this. People go to pay.
Yeah. So it actually balances out. So, you know, American food is probably
Make you
healthier.
fat.
It's all processed and gross stuff, but it tastes delicious. Yeah. Well, in general, like your general stuff, tastes amazing.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. Makes you
It's a whole
fat.
process.
Yeah. But the thing is, you've got FDA, which
Yeah.
makes sure you're not eating tainted vegetables.
True,
and meat.
true.
And remember, all the time when pigs get sick and stuff, they slaughter them, but then they still sell them. They sell them at
burn them in
discount
pits.
price. Yeah, if they don't do that.
The rotten dead meat.
Yeah, the rotten dead meat, they'll still sell it at discount price,
they
and
don't
then
do
just
it with
like
that.
treat it with chemicals. So
I mean, they'd found like 70-year-old meat that they're still selling in freezers.
You just got to watch out in China, unfortunately.
Yeah. You gotta understand.
Yeah, you got to understand China.
All right. Ice Meme Van gave us a pound.
Thanks.
A pound of flesh. And he said, I recently went to Chengdu and was I filmed more there because there are less foreigners there or any other reason? Also, is it true that they think we're cute, as that is how my Chinese teacher justified it?
No, Chengdu's got tons of foreigners.
It doesn't
Probably one of
matter
the
though,
biggest
man.
ones. Yeah,
it doesn't matter,
doesn't matter.
especially if you went near kind of a touristy thing. And remember, Chengdu's got all the pandas and crap.
Yeah,
so,
you're gonna get all the people from the rural countryside come to see it.
Yeah, so they come into the city and they're
Right.
like, "Oh my God, foreigners!"
What is this guy? Yeah.
Remember, we did that little experiment where we stood in Tiananmen Square, and Beijing has got more foreigners than anywhere else.
Maybe
in China.
Shanghai, but yeah, same thing.
Okay, Shanghai, yeah, maybe.
In the most popular destination.
Yeah, exactly.
We're standing there.
We're standing in Tiananmen Square, and remember, we made a time lapse, and like countless people were just coming up, like
within minutes,
to take photos of us, and that's just because they're traveling from the rural parts to go to Tiananmen Square.
Like,
they're
crap.
seeing foreigners. They're like, "Wow, let's get a photo of this rare animal."
Right.
You know, that's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah, he could be used for medicinal value.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Next up from Instagram, WeGenzo1990. They say, "Hi, Winston, Matt, and DM. Will ADV Media go to Scotland or Myanmar in the future?"
Those are two very different places. How about a little of both? Maybe I'll go to Scotland, you go to Myanmar.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go to Burma.
Yeah,
anyway,
we should go to Burma.
So
we were thinking about it.
Yeah, it's going to be part of what we do. Scotland, love to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to ride. It rains all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We have a lot of buddies from Scotland. So
yeah, we'll figure it out. Hopefully, we'll meet you.
I love
at one of the
Scotch.
two. Yeah, dude, and golf.
And golf. Oh my gosh, I'm Scottish.
Yeah. Cool. Stereotypes much. Yeah. What's our next one there?
I think that's about all we got.
Okay, cool. Well, that's kind of perfect timing.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say? That's what you say.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it to you. Is there anything you'd like to tell everyone?
Yes.
To wrap it up.
Guys, first of all, we appreciate you putting up with us. We really enjoy this. We enjoy having this sort of open discussion with you guys. You know, it's something new for us, and thanks for coming along. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, though, please do. Remember, this is a different channel to ADVChina.
And please tell your friends. Like, it's very hard to get a channel off the ground. We're putting a lot of work into this, so we'd like a bigger audience to share this experience with.
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Yeah. And if you're listening and not watching, thank you for listening along wherever you are. We appreciate that you've chosen to listen to us prattle on rather than something else.
Don't forget that you can ask us questions on our patrons. Mm-hmm. You can go talk to the team on @ADVPodcast, and that's on Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah, Instagram, yeah.
And don't forget that our show is every other week, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks at the exact same time, same place. And you probably should do a little sign-off.
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't forget, guys, as always, you know the drill. Honor the ghetto and stay awesome.
Thank you, Dan.